The name of Yahweh is becoming very popular. But we don't want to get confused because of the popularity of the name, which is a good thing. But with your pronouncing the name of Yahweh, there comes some responsibility. That name cannot be used frivolously. That name cannot be used as a common pronunciation or a common thing just because you've awakened to the fact that there is a name of the Most High and it's Yahweh. There is a responsibility that comes with pronouncing that name. The Most High has given to us laws, rules, commandments, mitzvot, and His teaching. His teaching is associated with His name. It's interesting to me that the Most High said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, I would heal their land. That text is used often within the religious world, but the religious world doesn't want to be associated and be His people. It's interesting to me that there are people who worship a Yehudim or a Jewish deity, but they don't want to identify with the nation. They worship a supposedly Yehudim, and he was not just a Yehudim or a Jew, so to speak. He was a Hebrew, if he was anything at all. But yet when we talk about being Hebrew, they don't want to be identified with Hebrew. The Father said, if my people who are called by my name, what's his name? His name is not Jesus. He said, if my people who are called by my name. It's written in the Masoretic text. The Europeans left it out so you never know his name. But we live in an age and a day of enlightenment. There's no reason for anybody to be ignorant. It's interesting to me that your daddy got a name. And every now and then when you want to call your daddy, you call him by his name. You don't call him daddy. You don't call him father. You call him by his name. The Most High has a name. The Father has a name. And that name is Yahweh. It comes with responsibility. The Hebrew nation who calls on that name and uses that name abides by the conditions that go with it. You can't use that name properly and omit the obedience that he's asking you to walk by. You can't use that name and still function with an idolatrous mind, even though you don't even know that you're idolatrous. It comes with a responsibility. I applaud the Yehudims, the Jews. I applaud them because they told us that that name was too sacred to mention. It is set apart. It is set apart. But in the climate in which that we are living, that name is the only name that's going to deliver you out of trouble. That name and that power has never, ever, ever, ever in the history of Hebrew Israel has never gone to battle and lost a battle with his people when they walk in righteousness. He has never, and they have never been defeated. They are champions. And when Hebrew Israel walks in righteousness before the Most High, don't mess with her. Don't mess with her. And if only I could get you all. I'm not talking about this congregation. If only I could get our people to understand who they are and what kind of power works for them. What a great day that would be. I had an opportunity to sit in the house of the gathering of our people. And I watched and I listened. And I realized how far away they are from even having a doggone clue of what's happening and what's going on. I heard a man talk about love. There is no greater love than to love the Most High El and walk in his teachings. Heard him talk about love conquers all. Got some news for you. My text tells me that Yahweh doesn't love everybody. My text tells me in Yeshayahu chapter 40 that the nations are but a drop in the bucket to him and less than a breath of dust. So if he's saying that, that tells me he don't love everybody. And since he don't love everybody, I don't have to love everybody. Who does he love? Text tells me that when Yaakov was young, I loved him. Who's Yaakov? That's Israel. So who does the Most High love? He loves Israel by text. You can't throw out the writings of the Most High and say they're obsolete, done away with, and they don't apply. If that's the case, in your churches, amongst your leaders and your pastors, stop using our Hebrew text. It is the law. It is the Torah. Stop it. Stop it. Either claim it or don't claim it. But if you claim it, then you got to claim the whole thing. I heard the prophet say, eat the whole roll. That's what I heard. I didn't hear the prophet say, pick and choose, treat it like a smorgasbord, only use that which is convenient to you at the time. I heard him say, eat the whole roll. Well, what can we say to these things? I heard the writer say, if Yah be Yah, serve him. And if Baal be Baal, serve him. What's the problem? People don't know who Baal is. Idolatry. If you're going to walk in idolatry, then walk in idolatry. If you're going to walk in truth, then walk in truth. I heard the man talk about truth. I sat there and I said, one man's truth is another man's heresy. If I told you the truth, you wouldn't accept it. You'd reject it because your eyes are blinded in the condition that you're in, having been Greeked, having been Hellenized, bamboozled, tricked, lied to. I asked a Christian pastor, I asked this question. I said, if something is a half-truth, what do you call it? He said, I call it a whole lie. I said, Well, if that document that you're teaching out of doesn't reflect the whole body of evidence that supplies truth, and in Hebrews, he writes that what the Most High said has been ineffective and been done away with, but we need a new Torah, and it's ineffective and didn't bring us to the goal. I said, is that true? Are you going to tell me that the creator of all things, who created the heavens and the earth, who created man and gave him the ability to speak, and who created your Jesus, if he created a man at all and he's a man, you're going to tell me that he was ineffective, ineffacive? and changed his mind? The power that I serve, the power that I know, the power that gives me breath every day, the power that caused my heart to keep pounding, that power, you're going to tell me that he's weak? So I ask you a question. Is that document over there, is it true or is it a lie? Can't get no response. If my people who are called by my name, the Most High's name is not Jesus. I and the Father are one. You are not the same substance as the Father. The Father is a spirit who makes body but will never become a body. He makes human, but he will never become a human. Why would he dirty himself to place himself in a corrupt human body to come down here to do what? He don't need to come down here. He can do everything from where he is. He created the heavens and earth from where he is. He created you from where he is. Why does he need to come down here and sully himself amongst dirty flesh of human beings? Why would he have to do that? He's set apart. He's opulent. He's omniscient. He's all present, and he cannot die. I said he cannot die. And he's never placed himself in a position where he's fallen and he can't get up. And you want me to serve a weak and efficient person? In the document itself, it says, put no confidence in flesh. There is a way that seems right unto man. The end thereof is destruction. We're living and have been living in a time in which we need the help of the one who has created all things. We're living in a time when we need the help of the one who gives breath and defines who lives and who dies. Wake up. Wake up. He is the Father, but he has a name. And my text says, your text stole it from my text. My text says, they that call upon the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. If Jesus Christ could save you, he first would have saved himself. Oh, he could have called the legion of angels. Why didn't he? Why didn't he? Oh, you're listening to the lie as to why he couldn't. Well, I don't know. But when Yahweh calls an angel, when Yahweh sounds the alarm and he calls to Gabriel, Gabriel responds to him. Because Gabriel fights for the nation of Hebrew Israel. When the Most High El needs somebody to help his people, he calls them, and he calls them by their name. And they respond. There's no lack in him. There's no failure in him. Yahweh has never lost a battle. And he never will. What's his name? Yahweh. We can have a battle cry. What's his name? Yahweh. And we, his people, walk in the testimony of his laws, his rules, his instructions, and his teachings. Therefore, in this hour of need, while there's a bullseye on every black man's back, we don't walk in fear. We don't coddle. Hebrew Israel's not afraid. Why? Because we heard our king say, my eyes are always upon you. I heard our king say, I form the metalsmith. I form the guy that makes the weapons. And I'm telling you that I, Yahweh, am telling Israel, there is no weapon formed against you which can prosper. Therefore, the bullseye on our back is irrelevant to the ones who seek to destroy us. I can leave my house every day and not be afraid that I'm not coming home. The only way I don't come home is if the Most High takes breath out of my body. That's the only way I don't come home. Can you say the same thing? Are you afraid when the red light goes on and the siren sounds and it pulls you over? Are you afraid that that's going to be your last day? I'm not. I'm not. Oh, I got a testimony for one who can't testify for herself. She said one day, I was riding down the freeway, minding my own business, when those people, you know who those people are, begin to harass her. She said, I called out to the Father, and I told him, I asked him to send the angel that's assigned to me. And as she rode down the highway, she looked in the rear view mirror saw a great big force sitting on the back of her hood. And all of a sudden, she no longer had a problem with those folks. Y'all have a way of expressing the works of the Most High. I'm going to use your vernacular as I sit down to teach the next lesson. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't Yahweh answer your prayer? Won't Yahweh come when you need him? Won't he do it? Every time. Why? Because we are his people that are called by his name.